There is still more to come on how Needham Athletics has powered through the past year. But up next, we'll take a look into a former Needham Channel volunteer whose journey through unified sports led him onto the field of Gillette Stadium. Stay put, we'll be right back. Radley Theolien, a former star on Needham High School's unified basketball team, has continued to make a name for himself, this time being signed to the New England Revolution unified team that played a Special Olympics soccer match at Gillette Stadium on Saturday, September 18th. Before we hear from Radley himself on his experience, we talk to Charles Hirsch with Special Olympics Massachusetts on how the program has started, its importance, and why Radley was selected.
The first thing, Charles, I just wanted to ask you about how the Revs team started, because this is what, the seventh year?
Yeah, so it's the seventh year of the team, and it's really grown a ton. I'd say the first year was it was an initiative that kind of came from MLS and Special Olympics at the national level, and something that was I don't want to say we were hesitant about. We jumped at the chance, obviously, but we didn't have kind of the structure in place to build a real team as you might have seen this year. And so what we did was we just tapped into one of our local soccer teams and had them represent us. And that was kind of the very beginning. I think it was probably 2017 was the first year that we actually hosted a tryout. And so we put the call out to all of our soccer players, both the athletes and the unified partners. So for those who don't know, unified partners are individuals who don't have intellectual disabilities, but play on the same playing field on the same team as athletes with disabilities in unified sports. And so we put the call out to anybody who played soccer with us, and got a nice little turnout for the first year, but definitely left a little bit to be desired. Put together a nice team, and since then it's really taken off. The tryout has grown every year. The Revolution involve us in initiatives beyond the unified team, beyond any fundraising events, just things that the team does. They've had us out at jersey launch announcements. They've had us to some of their volunteer days. We actually helped do a beach cleanup once. So it's really become a holistic partnership. They come out and support our soccer games and our summer games and other big initiatives on our end as well. So it's really become year round and a true partnership.
One main thing that we want to know is how you select someone, in general, and then if you happen to know why Radley was picked specifically.
It's an interesting process. It's not purely based on soccer skill. We are building a team here, and so we look at everything from kind of the real basics, like what position do you play? We can't have a whole team full of goalies, and so we look at the position. We look at how they interact with each other on tryout day. Obviously, it's the mix of athletes and unified partners, and so on the unified partner side, it's making sure that they're treating this the same gravity that they would another tryout. We want them to take this seriously. The athletes definitely do. They always come and bring it real hard, because this does represent kind of the pinnacle for them in the soccer space. Radley in particular, he actually stood out a ton, and maybe he can thank his mom for this. But so after the tryout was over, he had already kind of been a standout on the field and done very well for himself throughout the tryout process. But then his mom was actually a couple minutes late to pick him up out at the tryout, and all the coaches got a chance to talk to him. and I in particular, I got to hang out with him for a few minutes and just kind of get a little bit of his background, just scratching the surface. But just the way he handled himself, the way he presented himself was off the charts. And so he definitely went up a bunch of notches in my book, just for having a few minutes to chat with him, for sure.
So I originally met him. I was substitute teaching at Needham High School for the TV classes. And at the end of the 2 weeks that I was there, I gave my email address to people to be like, yeah, if you want to do more with TV and with the Needham Channel, let me know. And his mother actually was the one that messaged me and said that he was interested. And so he was the only one from that group that ended up working with us. And he started off, running our cameras for sports broadcasts. We have this little scoreboard that's run through an iPhone or an iPad or something like that he would do. And then he gradually made his way. He got comfortable enough to start talking more. And we actually had him announcing a couple of games. So he's really sort of come out of his shell and sort of really thrived with us but then we actually were able to also cover him because Needham High School has been starting up a unified program of their own, and he was on their basketball team.
He certainly is. He's right up there. You know, we see a lot of growth, similarly to kind of what you just described with Radley and his work with you. With the Revolution Unified team, you know, we've had players who join in, especially in our earlier iterations, because of the fact that we were still pretty new. People didn't necessarily know what to expect, and so you know, some of the athletes we selected might not have been, you know, at Radley's level on the kind of socialization and being out there and putting himself out there. And now you see them like 3-4 years later, and they're right there, and they're, you know, speaking on behalf of the organization. They are, you know, inviting their friends to come try out for the unified team, something that they themselves were a little bit hesitant to do at the beginning. And so just, seeing that progression, I think that's one of the things that we love to see in Special Olympics. And whenever we have a chance to do something kind of next level, like we do with the Revs, it really accelerates that, I think, for a lot of folks.
Charles, is there anything else that you want people to know about, you know, the organization, the Revs organization, about, you know, Radley, you know, him coming on the team and everything? Anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to mention here? You know,
there's an opportunity for everyone to engage with the organization. It doesn't have to necessarily be one of the traditional pathways. You know, Radley's a great example. I think, you know, obviously he went through the schools program, but then I think it was one of his teachers suggested this Revs thing. And it wasn't necessarily like that he's been playing Special Olympics soccer or anything like that, but he found his way to be a part of the organization. And so we're willing to have you come join us. We'll also come join you. You know, if you've got something going on, we travel well. You know, all we need is a ball and some goals or something.
After being chosen and playing on Gillette's turf, here's what Radley had to say about his experience.
We had to try out for the unified team, and that's what I did, and it came out that I made it on the team. So the practice they've been pretty good, just teaching us the fundamentals of how to prepare yourself. But having my first game, it was just a really good experience. It was nerve-wracking at first, just the pressure, just trying to like get opportunities on the defensive side, and it just didn't come out tonight, but we got other games to play. This experience, it was a dream come true. I always wanted to play at Gillette, and it was just an amazing atmosphere, amazing opportunities, chances, but it was just amazing feeling just to get out there and do what I got to do. I would just like to thank Mr. Super, who actually gave me this opportunity, and just thank him for giving me the opportunity, and also to the Needham Channel, shout them out too for helping me out along the way. But it's just an amazing feeling just to get out here, play with my team, do what I got to do to try to get this dub, and that's what we did. We got the dub. I just want to keep playing soccer, see how long I could go for, and then see where it takes me.